And as we move forward, the girls, having had a little meeting on the left field foul line, Coach Pacheco gathering them on the third baseline, getting the girls out as we prepare for the national anthem. Once again, folks, thank you for joining us. If you're interested in keeping up with the score, you are in the right place. As I have mentioned previously, there is no working scoreboard at Rangerette Field at the moment. So the Rangerettes are lined up along the third baseline. The Lady Whitefaces from Hereford dealing with their own regime change as well, but might be familiar to some over at Hereford. Coach Garcia, the returning head coach, was there in years gone by, previous to my now third season being able to bring you these games. And we'll remove our hats and put our hands over our hearts for the national anthem. Hope you can hear it. And there you have it, listeners. The 2024 Rangerette Softball District season officially underway. The Rangerettes, being the home team, will be taking the field to start here this afternoon. Looking for a good showing early on. We'll take just a moment while the girls warm up. And we'll break away for a couple of quick messages from the PHS Sports Boosters. Come back, won't you? First pitch in just a moment, right here on 92.7 My FM. And we're back, folks. The first pitch slated for 4:30. The lineup defensively for the Rangerettes. Starting in left field is Doris Navarrete, number 3. Center field returner Jimena Mandujano. Number 6, Ureli Mayer in right. At third base, Diana Flores. Number 4, your shortstop, number 10, Camry Curl. Kennedy Fletcher, number 12. At second, Ella Cowan, the only home run hitter on the Rangerettes. At first, Ive Hernandez behind the plate, and Ashlyn Roberts starting inside the circle for the Rangerettes. As Flores steps in, number 1 for the Lady Whitefaces, takes ball 1 up and away from Roberts. The second delivery catches Flores. It looked like she got just a little bit turned. That pitch caught her maybe on the back of the right shoulder. Left-handed hitter is Flores. So she takes ball 1 and then is hit by pitch to then occupy first base. The Hereford coaches give her a moment to collect herself, and in steps Enriquez, number 7, showing bunt to Roberts. Pulls back, and that ball is high and gets past Hernandez behind the plate, allowing Flores to scoot on up to second base. And that is ball 1 to Enriquez. As we watch the pace of these softball games so quick, if they are ready to hit and pitch, boy, it is happening. Ball 2 up and away to Enriquez. So the 2-0 delivery from Roberts, low and away, and Flores takes off as the ball leaves the hand of Roberts. And by a pretty deft throw from Hernandez to Curl, covering third as the third baseman Flores is pulled way in, but nevertheless Flores moves over to third, and that is ball 4 to Enriquez, and that puts the Lady Whitefaces on the corners at first and third. Nobody out, no score here in the opening frame of the Rangerettes 2024 district season. And they get to open here at Rangerette Field. And showing bunt and pulling back is Enriquez, number 15. The sweatshirt she is wearing, bearing what I can only assume is a nickname, Izzy. I don't have first names. It does begin with an I. That ball just a bit up and away, maybe even just a bit outside to Enriquez for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Enriquez. Roberts delivers it up and off the end of the glove of Hernandez, allowing the runners, oh no, I apologize. Enriquez had already moved to second and Flores over to third. They got to that quick enough to keep any runs from scoring. Still nobody out, a 3-0, and Roberts deals high to Enriquez for the second base on balls. 2 walks and 1 hit by pitch so far for Roberts. There's a strike right down the middle to Mendoza. The cleanup hitter for the Lady Whitefaces, with the bases juiced, takes a strike from Roberts. So the 0-1 delivery, that one is fouled off straight back to the net. Looks like Roberts maybe has made a bit of an adjustment with regard to release point, but is now ahead of the Lady Whiteface cleanup hitter Mendoza. No balls and 2 strikes. And for something on the ground here, that ball up and away to number 2 Mendoza for ball 1. Not a bad place to miss if you are Roberts. 2 strikes on the cleanup hitter. They are looking for something they can put the head of the bat on. That ball outside, driven high into left field, and that ball caught out and left by Navarrete. And looking to move more runners, a series of plays and one overthrow at the plate there does indeed bring 2 runs home for the Whitefaces. The Lady Whitefaces up 2-0 with 1 out. And the cleanup hitter getting the job done for Hereford. There's a swing and a miss to Trevino, who steps in the 5 slot. The runner now at third is Enriquez. That ball swung on and missed, just a little up in the zone. But once again, Roberts ahead of these Lady Whiteface hitters, the last 2. We're 0-2. That ball just a bit up, maybe a little outside to the lefty. Riz on the back of her sweatshirt for Hereford. 2 strikes and 1 ball. And Riz swings and misses. Now Roberts gets out number 2 on her first K of this young district season. So 2 away now with a runner at third. Lady Whitefaces have a 2-run lead, but 2 down as Roberts deals just a bit outside to Salinas. So a ball and no strikes to the 6-hole Lady Whiteface. There's one. Catches the top of the zone. Strike 1. Roberts has evened the count now. To Salinas. And the 1-1 pitch just a bit up and away. 2 balls and a strike now. Roberts winds and delivers. That ball well up and away, but off the netting. Very nicely played on the carom by Hernandez, right back into her glove. Holding Enriquez at third base. So 3-1 now, and that one low and away puts Salinas on first. Runners back at the corners for the Lady Whitefaces. A 2-run lead for Hereford here in the top of the first. Roberts, the junior pitcher, struggling just a bit in her second season with any work at all inside the circle, but doing pretty well as the Rangerette softball goes. Ball 1 to Flores, and that ball down the middle and fouled off gently off the netting just on the press box side of the visitors' dugout. That evens the count to Flores at 1-1. The runners now at first and second, Mendoza and Salinas. Correction, third and second. And the delivery from Roberts just outside to Flores. Sky on the back of her sweatshirt in big white letters. And that is going to be ball 4 to Sky. So that loads up the bases with Lady Whitefaces again for Hereford. 2 outs here in the top of the first. A 2-run lead has Hereford. And Roberts delivers to Alonso. She takes one up and away for ball 1. Ashland's goal here being get something on the ground out of these Lady Whiteface hitters. There's a strike catching the outside part of the plate to number 5, Alonso. That evens the count at 1-1. And the delivery from Roberts, a different spin on that. And that one gets by Hernandez, and the play at the plate is not in time to get Izzy. So Enriquez scores on the passed ball. That makes it 3-0 Hereford. Coach Pacheco out briefly to have a word with his catcher. And that brings up the 9-slot hitter, Vallejo, number 20 for Hereford. That ball well outside, but an athletic play by Hernandez to get out there and to keep it in the glove on a hop. Nevertheless, ball 1 to Vallejo. Roberts delivers. Similar pitch there outside as well. Excuse me, no. That was still Alonso. All apologies, folks. So that is a walk to reload the bases for Hereford. Now Vallejo steps in. And the initial offering to number 20, well up in the zone for ball 1. And 3-0 here, Hereford over Perryton. That ball, a little bit of an odd spin on it, well outside. Oh, and a pickoff play gets away from second base. And overthrown at home, leaving just one runner aboard at third. That'll be Alonso. So 2 more runs score for the Lady Whitefaces. 5-0 now. So the Rangerettes trying to get out number 3 here. There's a swing and a miss from Vallejo. That makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Vallejo showing bunt and pulling back. Swinging hard on that one, and that's a gapper. Hit pretty well in the left center, but my ear over to round it up and get it into second, just a bit behind Vallejo. So Vallejo with the RBI double there. So on a 2-1 pitch, Vallejo doubles to bring in the 6th Lady Whiteface run. Need an out here, do the Rangerettes. And back to the top of the order. And this is Flores, number 1, who walked in her first at-bat. Now taking one up and away and fouled off the second offering from Ashland Roberts. He evens the count to her at a ball and a strike. 1-1 pitch down low. My vantage point doesn't give me a much better view of that pitch than that. Pretty well over the middle of the plate. Had to have been low for ball 2. That ball hit hard right at Ashland Roberts, who gloves it to help herself out with the 3rd out of the inning. So after the first half inning, it is the Hereford Lady Whitefaces 6, the Rangerettes coming up in the bottom half of the first. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, you're listening to your exclusive home of Rangerette softball 92.7 My FM. We'll be right back. Beginning the second inning with the Lady Whitefaces coming to bat. And the two-hole hitter, number 7, Enriquez, who just made that good catch out in center field to end the Rangerette threat in the first, takes the initial 2 pitches from Roberts up for balls 1 and 2. And that ball swung on and under it, fouling it off to the first base side. Netting is Enriquez. So the 2-1 pitch called a strike right at the numbers of the home plate umpire. That evens the count. 2-2 to Enriquez. Roberts in a pretty good spot here. That ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. That'll be the second strikeout for Roberts in as many innings. Doing a pretty good job of getting the swings and misses. And 2 of the 4 outs recorded by the Rangerettes off the arm of Roberts. Now the other Enriquez steps in. 2 quick balls to number 15, the pitcher for Hereford. But 1 out. Boy, a big lift for the Rangerettes to get an out and not have anyone on base. And that ball low and away to Enriquez, ball 3. Roberts takes just a moment. Having been completely replaced now defensively was Eve Hernandez by the senior Michaela Roberts. Resting the first inning, Michaela visits with her sister inside the circle and settles back in. 3-0 to Enriquez. And that ball a little high, and that'll be a walk to the Lady Whiteface pitcher. So number 21 now, Michaela Roberts, joins her sister in the district opener here. What might be a little more comfortable position for the Rangerette pitcher. That ball swung on, well under it, fouled back over the press box. And just like that, to Mendoza, Roberts is ahead, 0-1. That ball well up in the zone, gloved by number 21 behind the plate. Evens the count at a ball and a strike to Mendoza. Here's the 1-1. That ball swung on, hit, a lazy fly ball to center. Mandujano makes her way over, settles under it, and makes the catch. 2 away now for the Rangerettes. Well, all of a sudden appear a little more comfortable, spotting the Lady Whitefaces 6 runs, but here in the top of the second, quickly 2 out with only 1 runner on. And that is in the form of a pinch runner for their pitcher Enriquez at first base. Now that ball well up and outside off the netting and scoots away a little bit from Roberts, trying to catch the carom off a hop. And the pinch runner for the Lady Whitefaces makes her way to second. Trevino swings and misses at that pitch inside, maybe up in the zone just a bit. Two balls and a strike now to Trevino. That ball right down the middle, strike two. Already a noticeable difference from Roberts inside the circle in terms of numbers of balls versus strikes. The 2-2, however, as I put the kibosh on that, is well up in the zone for ball three. So full count to Trevino. That one just a bit inside. Not a bad place to put a pitch if you are Roberts. But that puts Trevino at first base with the base on balls, and the pinch runner over at third for the Lady Whitefaces. Two away. A ball hit up in the air, fouled back, and Roberts hustling, losing the mask, not quite able to get to it as it hits just in the corner below the pad at the backstop. Michaela, in her defense, did not have much time to get there. That ball, I bet, was not 8 feet off the ground. There's a ball up and in to Salinas. That'll even the count at a ball and a strike. That one up in the zone. 1-3 now to Salinas. That one up and away. I apologize. The count is now a ball and 3 strikes. Excuse me, 3 balls and 1 strike. Think about the words that are coming out of my mouth. That ball low and away, well blocked by the senior Roberts behind the plate, but that walk is going to load the bases again with Lady Whitefaces. So in steps Flores, takes one up in the zone, about helmet high, in ball 1. Might not be a bad time for Michaela to jog out there and visit with her sister, calm her down a little bit. Love to see a ground ball here. And the 1-0 pitch up and away. 2 balls and no strikes now to Flores. Once again, bases loaded with Lady Whitefaces, who bring a 6-run lead. That ball right down the middle. Strike 1 from Roberts to Sky Flores, as is on the back of her sweatshirt. So the 2-1 up and in just a bit. A little bit of what almost could qualify as chin music there to Flores. So it's 1-3. And that ball up and away for ball 4. And that's going to bring in another Hereford run. To make it 7-0. Hereford with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Number 5, Alonzo, who drew a base on balls in her first at-bat, takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1, and Coach Pacheco wants to talk about it just a moment. Having had an opportunity while they visit inside the circle, I did mention this is Frank Pacheco's first head coaching position. But a couple of the things he mentioned to me, looking for a turn in culture, and probably meant more than just on the field for the girls. He spoke a little bit about getting the Rangerettes involved and out in the community, which I think is a great thing. Lots of opportunities to do that, and we'll probably discuss those further. But he took the opportunity to gather the Rangerettes inside the circle and calm everybody down. But they scatter back to their positions here. And once again, a ball and no strikes to Flores. And that one over the outside corner. Excuse me, to Alonso. Oh no, this is... Yes, Alonso. I don't have first names for the Lady Whitefaces here. And that ball well outside. Kept in front by Roberts, from Roberts, very well. The count moves to 1-2, I believe. That ball up. Oh, they got somebody pinned down there. And they're going to get the out at second, is the call by the outfield umpire. And that clears the field and ends the second Hereford at bat with 3 outs. That run, I apologize, folks, I was looking to see, I believe that run is going to count. So at the end of the day, the Lady Whitefaces end up with 2 additional runs to make it 8-0 Hereford over the Rangerettes. We'll pause here for a word from our boosters. But come back, won't you? The Rangerette half of the second inning coming up right here on 92.7 My FM. The Rangerettes look better offensively. What is a competitive Hereford squad. Maybe not as strong as they were last season, but competitive as usual nonetheless. So Trevino steps in to lead it off for the Lady Whitefaces, takes ball 1 high from Roberts, and Roberts gets the swing and the miss. A good pitch on the inside part of the plate up in the zone to even the count to Trevino to a ball and a strike. That ball low and away, it appeared from where I sit. 2 balls and a strike to Trevino. Nobody on here, just leading off the top of the 4th for the Lady Whitefaces. And that ball high, that's going to run the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. And Ashland looking to give her something to hit here. Ooh, almost got the foul ball as Trevino failed to move the bat on a pitch behind her head, but gets lucky. And with no contact behind the hitter, and that is ball 4. So Trevino on first with the base on balls. Salinas steps in, swings and misses. The first pitch, a good place pitch by Roberts. So no balls and 1 strike there. The 0-1 delivery outside. The senior Roberts' sister Good athletic play to keep that one in front and hold the runner, Trevino, at first base. 1-1, that ball popped up, out of play, just beyond the visitor's side dugout at first base. And that's going to even it up to Salinas, 2-2. Nobody out here. The 2-2 delivery from Roberts. We crossed up Salinas a little bit on that, took something off, but a good pitch right at the knees, and Salinas way late's all she can do to fight that one off to the first base side. Foul. It stays alive at 2-2. And that ball high for ball 3. So the count full now to the Lady Whiteface hitter. Again, runner at first. Nobody out here, top of the 4th. That ball hit. Oh, ground ball just off the glove of the Ranger at third baseman, Diana Flores. Kind of a tough play there. Almost had to try to scoop it. More like a short hop than anything to Flores at third. And at least temporarily, now Coach Pacheco takes a timeout. That's going to cost her her job for the moment. So the sub made for Flores at third, and runners at first and second with the Lady Whitefaces, nobody out, top of the 1st. 9-1 our score. Hereford with the lead. The initial offering to Flores, ball 1. Ooh. Turns to bunt, but pulls back as that ball is up and away. A well-placed ball for the catcher, Roberts, to have made a play with it, but nobody moving on the infield. 2-0, that ball well outside and low. Knocked down again deftly by Michaela Roberts, the Rangerette catcher. 3 balls, no strikes now to Flores. Turns to bunt, but pulls back on a ball just a bit up and outside of the zone. And that's going to load him up with Lady Whitefaces. Trevino at third, Salinas at second, and on the walk now, Flores at first. And the initial offering to Alonso, not 100% sure. Hereford did not sub there. I don't get any of that information, and I can't see the numbers with the girls in these sweatshirts. But assuming it was Alonso, the initial offering swung on and missed. The 0-1 pitch up and in, so 1-1 now. Alonso with the bases juiced. That ball bounces in, but not able to get enough of a look at that to come in from third is Trevino, so she stays put. And 2 balls and a strike here to Alonso. And just a bit up and away, and that's going to give her the hitter's count. 3 balls and a strike. And the Rangerettes in a little bit of a jam here. Need a ground ball or something they can make a play on. 3-1 to Alonso. And that one outside. That's going to generate a run on the base on balls. We'll bring our score to 10-1 in favor of Hereford. And base is still loaded. Not a bad spot there, but just off the outside part of the plate there to Vallejo. Trevino scored. Salinas moved to third. Flores up to second. And Alonso with the base on balls resides at first base. The 1-0 pitch to Vallejo. She squares to bunt and pulls back as she does so again. 2 balls, no strikes to number 20. A little bit of a misunderstanding here, as the umpire from home plate will go out and clarify with the infield umpire. Ashlyn Roberts started her windup but never delivered the ball and stopped. Were that ball a little bit smaller and white with red laces, that would have been a balk and cost the Rangerettes a run. And I don't see that we get any clarification here for the umpire. We'll see if he shows the pitch count now. Hitter may have still been squared around to bunt. I don't know if that was a factor or not. One of the interesting things I'll be able to ask Coach Pacheco about next chance we get to visit. Coach Pacheco out to get some clarification as well. No strikes, 3 balls and no strikes here to Vallejo, who once again squares around to bunt. Roberts toes the rubber, winds up and delivers, and against Vallejo, swinging way out in front. That one by taking something off a well-delivered pitch to get strike 1. So the 3-1, that ball hit on the ground, right to short, to Curl, gloves it, goes to first, and the throw late, and second to the double play. But they end up getting the play on the runner trying to come in from third. And that's going to do it. No, that's not. That is just 2 outs. Even as the Rangerettes had cleared the field. With a little bit of instruction, I believe, from Coach Pacheco, Roberts' sisters hurrying back out, getting the ball to home plate on fears that another run might have scored. 1 run scores there. But well played by Curl, and gets the ground out of Vallejo. And then the quick throw home. And it'll be 6-3-1 in your scorebook. And netting 2 outs for the Rangerettes. Even with the crossing of 2 additional runs. Excuse me, 1 more run for the Lady Whitefaces. There's ball 1. Flores dancing to get out of the way of that one, but couldn't and was hit by pitch. There. HBP in your scorebook. And Alonso at third base now. And Flores at first. With 2 away here in the top of the 4th. 11-1 our score by my count. A pace of softball, very quick. That ball overthrown by Roberts, but the elder Roberts able to scoot toward first base and catch it on the carom pretty quickly, holding Flores at third. So a ball and no strikes to who I can only assume is Enriquez, the second baseman. And that ball outside for ball two. So the 2-0 pitch from Roberts outside for ball three. I haven't totaled the pitches thrown by Roberts here, but boy, she has thrown a lot of pitches in this game. Done her share of foul balls, a couple of strikeouts, and enough walks that the Lady Whitefaces are able to capitalize on enough to build up a 10-1 lead. And this will be the pitcher, Enriquez, stepping in as her sister draws the 2-out walk. And bases loaded with Lady Whitefaces now. Once again, 2 outs here, and Enriquez looks at strike one. Down the middle, a delivery from Roberts just a bit outside. Some of the Rangerette faithful here looking for a call there that is not forthcoming. So a ball and a strike here to Enriquez. And that ball up in the zone for ball two. Now Roberts looking to get something from Enriquez they can make a play on. A ground ball would be great. They'd settle for a lazy fly ball. Now that one up and away. And that's going to run the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Excuse me, 1 strike. On Enriquez, the 3-1 with the bases jammed. That ball is fought off foul off the first base side over onto the practice field. Practice field directly south of us here behind first base in Perryton. So the count remains 3 balls and 1 strike to Enriquez. And that ball up, and another base on balls issued unfortunately by Roberts. Results in another run for the Lady Whitefaces. And that will bring Coach Pacheco out to check on his pitcher. And the junior got to be fighting a little bit of fatigue at this point, but having not done as great a job maybe as Coach Pacheco might have liked. But the Rangerettes, up until here just now, certainly were within striking distance. Now we'll take a break with them. And we'll listen to these messages, won't you? And we'll be right back here with more Rangerette softball. And we're back here at the top of the 4th inning. And Mendoza steps in and takes strike 1 from Roberts, benefiting and swings and misses at the 0-1 pitch to make it no balls and 2 strikes. Roberts benefiting apparently from the brief conversation with Coach Pacheco. Ball well up in the zone, down, and the runner coming in from third. That'll cost the Rangerettes another one. 13-1 by my count here in the top of the fourth with 2 down, a ball and 2 strikes to Mendoza. Runners just at second and third now. That ball up in the zone, that's going to even things at 2-2. Enriquez at second now. And the other Enriquez at third. That ball swung on well under it and fouled off straight back beyond the press box behind me. That'll keep the count at 2-2 to Mendoza. So the 2-2 delivery, a bit up in the zone. Looked like Roberts might have tried to take a little off that one. Did not get the release point quite right. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the payoff pitch, shoulder high and just a bit into Mendoza. And another walk for Rangerette pitching. That'll be 4 this inning. But that just loads the bases. No force there. That ball right over the head of the new hitter Trevino for ball 1. So the 1-0 pitch, just about shoulder high from Roberts. Two balls and no strikes from Ashlyn Roberts. And that went up and away for ball 3. So on 3 straight pitches, balls, you begin to get the impression that that Coach Pacheco is all in on Ashlyn. That ball down the middle, and a little change of pace there from Roberts gets the foul for strike 1 to the first base side. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Trevino. So with the bases loaded and a 12-run deficit here, ooh, good spot on that pitch from Roberts. Swung on and missed by Trevino. Strike 2. So the payoff pitch coming. And Roberts delivers that one low. And that's going to be another base on balls. So another run scores. By my count, 14-1 in favor of the Lady Whitefaces. That ball fouled off by the new hitter Salinas. So very quickly in a no ball, 1 strike hole is the Lady Whiteface third baseman. That ball scoots by Roberts behind the plate low. Runs the count to a ball and a strike. So 1-1. Roberts delivers just a bit up and away for ball 2. Two, 2-1, and that ball right down the middle, but high apparently as well. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Salinas. Once again with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Gatto's beginning to get pretty long out there. The third base line up to about 3/4 of the way to the pitcher's circle. Now shaded, with the new Rangerette third baseman still shielding her eyes from the sun. That ball fouled off to keep the count where it is. That ball hit high, and Ella Cowan manages to glove that infield fly just behind first base, and that will end the inning for the Lady Whitefaces. Looks like 3 more runs for them, and it pains me to say on what I believe is no hits that go round, but a nicely done 2-out play for the Rangerettes. Hesitant to say double play because they didn't get the out at first, got the one at second, and then the good throw home to get the runner coming in. We'll take a break here. 14-1 our score in Rangerettes district opener. Come right back, won't you? You're listening to Perryton Rangerettes softball right here on My FM.
You go the extra mile, working hard for your family and community. We share these beliefs: local service, local support, and technicians who are your neighbors. PTCI takes pride in delivering internet you can count on. Visit ptci.net or your local store. Service not available in all areas. Some restrictions may apply.
For a hitter, the Rangerettes in a 13-run hold here. Need to get the bats going to start hedging against that. And there's a ball swung on and foul by number 1. And that ball hit just over the second baseman's head. A little bloop single. Excuse me, that is number 7. And I apologize. Oh, that is Hannah Barnes, the new third baseman. Well, that's going to bring in number 12, Kennedy Fletcher. So Flores taking the place of Diana Flores at third, and the leadoff single for the Rangerettes. Fletcher able to get the bat on that one, but fouls it off the first base side over to the practice field. And I believe that runs the count to Fletcher. No balls and 2 strikes. And Fletcher needing to work hard here to move Hannah, who led off the inning with a single just into the grass over the head of the second baseman. And that ball low and in, or ball 1. That ball hit in almost the same place, but caught by the second baseman, and Hannah, already on her way to second, is going to get doubled up there. And a base running mistake by Hannah Barnes. And that will clear the bases and put 2 outs on the Rangerettes here in the bottom of the 4th. And Doris Navarrete steps in. First pitch swinging, ground ball up the middle. Fielded cleanly by the shortstop Flores and makes the out. And Doris about a step behind that throw. So that's going to do it just like that for the Rangerettes here in the bottom of the 4th. 13-hole deficit, kicking off the top of the 5th inning here in just a few moments. And we'll be back with the visitor half in the top of the 5th. It looks like Alonzo will lead it off for the Lady Whitefaces right after these messages. Michaela Roberts the senior, who just didn't do a good job of checking the number on the hitter as she came up. So duly noted, and thank you to others listening out there. Who are happy to correct me when it is needed. So Alonso leading it off here in the Hereford half of the fifth inning. And a pitch outside that Alonso leaves alone from Roberts. And Ashland toes the rubber and winds and delivers, and that ball also outside. And that makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike. And that one just a bit inside. Alonso not interested at all in moving. But it draws the leadoff walk on the inside pitch from Roberts. Brings up Vallejo. And Coach Pacheco will take just a moment to check on something I did not see. Went straight out to the infield umpire and is getting some clarification. Nods. And then Kennedy Fletcher heads for the dugout. If I was a betting man, I would have thought she was looking for something to shield her eyes from the sun. But she is giving up the spot. So we have a new second baseman do the Rangerettes. And Chavez maybe. A ball hit hard, not very deep, but just to the wall between Mandujano and Meyer. And that throw not fielded cleanly by the replacement second baseman. And that results in Vallejo never even slowed down. She was looking to get a triple out of that, I believe, the moment she realized it was in the gap. So a leadoff triple, for Alonso, not Vallejo. And the senior catcher, Michaela Roberts, gathers the team inside the circle to give them the lowdown. With a leadoff triple here, a runner at third with nobody out. That will bring in Vallejo, or someone hitting in the 9 slot for Vallejo. And that ball up and away. Roberts. Who winds and delivers. And that ball also up and away. And that makes the count 3 balls and no strikes to the second Lady Whiteface hitter of the inning. That ball hit hard and on the rope, dead to center field. One hop, Mandujano comes up with it, gets it to second, but not before Alonso crosses the plate. So the RBI single for Vallejo, or whoever was hitting in Vallejo's slot. And that, I believe, runs us to 15-1, the score in favor of Hereford. And the Rangerettes needing to do something defensively pretty badly here to get one last chance to avoid the run rule in their home opener. And Coach Pacheco does indeed make the pitching change. And that, it seems, is why the change was made from Fletcher to Chavez at second, because the new pitcher is indeed Kennedy Fletcher. No, I apologize. Yes, that is Fletcher. Wearing the number 10 jersey, the numbers, excuse me, no, that is Camry Curl. Now I see what I have done. So the shift is Ashlyn Roberts over to first. Ella Cowan takes Ashlyn's spot at short. And the initial delivery from Curl looks like she caught her leg. That pitch, that ball didn't even get to home plate. Timeout called by Coach Pacheco. And the shift is on here for the Rangerettes. They pull the third baseman into about 20 or 25 feet of home plate. And the left fielder comes up to give him the extra infielder. And the remaining two outfielders shift to occupy left center and right center. And conceivably, under these conditions, the center fielder and powerlifter Amanda Hano may get some exercise under certain situations when they apply that shift. Coach Pacheco is still visiting with the home plate umpire. And I am unable from where I am to have any idea why. But the meeting breaks up. And we are back after it. So after the miscue by Curl, 1 ball, no strikes. That one high. And the throw down from Roberts to second, nobody covering, the ball goes right through. And then over to third as the ball rolls harmlessly into center field. Amanda Hano gets it back into third, where it scoots by again, but Vallejo not able to get up and scamper home. And 2 balls and no strikes now to Flores. 3-0. The count now. Curl looking to settle in there, gets a strike over the outer half of the plate there. Had to have one at 3-0. 3 balls, 1 strike to Flores, and that one not as close. Bouncing in front of the plate to put Lady Whiteface runners at first and third. Once again, nobody out here in the top of the 5th. That brings Enriquez to the plate. He hits one up and foul. I believe off the netting. Roberts made an attempt to glove it, but I do believe that it hit off the top post of the backstop, rendering it ineligible to be caught for the out, but strike one nonetheless. There's a ball. Curl taking quite a bit off of that over the outside part of the plate and gets a called strike two. So 0-2 now to Enriquez, and that ball up and away just a bit. Not a bad place to be at 0-2. The runner has advanced now over to second base. From first has Flores. So now Vallejo at third, Flores at second. And that ball hit hard and on a rope, nice line drive, but out of play off to the left. Enriquez getting every bit, it would have appeared, of the sweet spot on that ball. But again, harmlessly out of play beyond the home dugout. Well, still 2-1 and 2-2, and that ball high from Curl. Excuse me, full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That ball swung on and grounded softly to the Hereford coach at third base. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Enriquez. Runners at second and third, 14-run lead. That ball gets past Roberts. They make the play and are not able to complete the rundown. Curl may have waited just a hair too long. Looked like she got the runner to commit to going back to third in pretty good shape. Almost thought maybe she would track her down, but unable to do that. So that's the base on balls, and that now loads the bases full of Lady Whitefaces. There's a fly ball back behind second. Cowan makes her way over, makes the catch behind second base, but hesitates on the throw home. So another run comes home for the Lady Whitefaces. And by my count, Hereford now leads it 16-1. But a good play by Cowan, moving to her left to glove that one, and then a quick change. Kenzie Harris has now jumped in at short. Don't know what the reasoning behind that was. So Mendoza now the hitter after the fly out to short by Enriquez. Fouls that one off. Count, I believe, now is 1-1. To Mendoza, that ball inside. Roberts over deftly to corral that one. To save an additional run. And that ball high. To Mendoza. So Curl at a little bit of a risk of loading the bases again here. That ball inside, but underneath it, that ball's going to fall right at second base. No one able to get there. with less than 2 outs. I'm not sure why that was not. Oh, first base unoccupied, maybe. So Mendoza gets the infield hit, drives in another run. And that brings in Trevino, who swings and misses at the first pitch and takes ball 2 inside. And the 1-1 offering up and away to Trevino. Ball 2. That ball reached out for and just off the end of the bat and foul, as Trevino is able to fight that one off. Barely, but that will leave in the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out here, top of the 5th. That ball held on to just a bit long by Curl and well over the head of Roberts. Into the backstop. That's going to allow the runners to move to second and third. That is Mendoza and Enriquez. That ball hit. Kenzie Harris making a great play on that weakly hit line drive way to her right. From the shortstop position, using those legs and getting over there to make a great catch right behind where the third baseman would normally have been playing. So out number 2 on the catch by Harris. That ball right over the inside part of the plate to Salinas, who steps in with runners at second and third and 2 out here, top of the 5th. And that ball outside the zone there. Ball and a strike now. 1-1 offering up in the zone. 2 balls and a strike to Salinas, I believe. That ball inside, but fought off by Salinas. Foul just outside the third base line. An even 2-2 count now to Salinas. That one low and taken. A full count now to the Hereford third baseman. That one fought off inside, but just getting enough of the handle on that ball is Salinas as to foul it off toward the first base dugout, fielded by the on-deck hitter there. That ball weakly hit up in the air. Backing up is is Curl, and making a good catch to help herself there for the 3rd out of the 5th inning. 17-1 is the score by my count. Here as we move to the Rangerette half of the 5th, 1 chance for the Rangerettes to put up 7 to stay in this one and extend it a little bit. Their district home opener, Hereford currently has the lead, and the Rangerettes coming to bat right after this on your exclusive home for Rangerette softball, My FM.
You go the extra mile, working hard for your family and community. We share these beliefs: local service, local support, and technicians who are your neighbors. PTCI takes pride in delivering internet you can count on. Visit ptci.net or your local store. Service not available in all areas. Some restrictions may apply.
And we're back here at Rangerette Field. The lights have come on now as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. 3 outs here for the Rangerettes to put up enough runs to avoid getting run ruled in their district opener. And that is going to bring new shortstop Kenzie Harris to the plate. She looks at one letter high down the middle. Got a feel for it now. But strike one to Harris. Now that one down and away, maybe just too low. Difficult to tell from my vantage point. 1-1. That ball right off the end of the bat. And a bad throw from the second baseman who cleanly fielded that ball, but made a bad throw. Gets by first base. So Kenzie is aboard on the error. Call that E4. Puts Harris aboard, and a well-hit ground ball right at the shortstop. And here's hitting in the 9 slot, because the hitter now is center fielder number 6, Jimena Mandujano. Fouls the initial offering off, takes one low, 1-1 to the Rangerette center fielder. Nobody out, runner at first, that one low. Harris over there daring a little bit the Hereford catcher to chase her with the ball a little bit. Mandujano 2-1. That ball's down, thrown down. Now Harris hurries and gets down and is safe. Took off on the throw down to first. But Harris once again showing a little speed as she did on the defensive play to her right from shortstop last inning. Catch that weakly hit line drive. Beats the relay throw from first to second. So now in scoring position for Mandujano, but it doesn't matter. That one is low and in for ball 4. So runners now at second and first, and owner of the second Rangerette home run, Michaela Roberts, steps in. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Catches that one off the end of the bat and a little under it. Fouls it toward the first base dugout. So the Rangerettes doing some things we didn't see much of in years past. Being a little smarter on the base paths, and that was another thing that Coach talked about in one of our visits. Working on understanding the game as Roberts fouls another one off to the first base side. So quickly 2 strikes on the Rangerette catcher. Nobody out. Runners at first and second. That ball hit weakly towards second. She's going to get through, and she's going to actually get there because that ball's mishandled by the second baseman. That's going to bring Harris into home to score. And the Rangerettes, with nobody out, put a run on the board. As Roberts is able to leg that one out. And the Hereford coach now spending a little time with the home plate umpire, probably trying to argue interference. Mandujano jumping over that ground ball. But having not touched it, there is little discussion. Clean play. And the Rangerettes get another run. The runners at second and third now. That ball hit up, gonna be foul it looks like, and the second baseman not able to get there. So new pitcher Kenzie Curl fouls one off. for strike one. That one outside. Ooh, and Mandahano turning her back on the catcher. Barely able to beat that throw back as the catcher whipped one down to third base. Curl settles in with a strike against her. That one hit. Coming off the handle of the bat to third base. And Mandahano in a bit of a rundown here. And safe is the call at third as she gets back. And on the fielder's choice, Curl ends up at first. The pinch runner for Roberts at second and Mandahano at third. Again, nobody out here in the top of the fifth. Rangerettes with the bases juiced. One run across already and threatening here. And that one swung on and missed. By number 11. And getting the end of the bat on that one is Ashlyn Roberts, but fouling it off on the first base side. And another one that she gets under and fouls that one straight back. So Ashlyn Roberts staying alive here. Ball and 2 strikes, I believe the count is. But that one over the outside part of the plate. But a called strike 3 by the home plate umpire for the first out of the inning against the Rangerettes. And that's going to bring up Ureli Meyer. Still with the bases loaded. 1 out this time. Really out in front of that pitch just a little bit. And swings and misses for strike 1. And missing that one with an aggressive swing on a ball a bit up and away possibly from Enriquez. And runs the count to no balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, lays off that one. The off-speed pitch from Enriquez. Didn't get my ear swinging at all. That ball just a bit up in the zone. That one got my ear swinging, but she comes up empty. And with the second strikeout of the inning, there are now 2 outs on the Rangerettes here in the bottom half of the 5th. That ball hit solidly, but just a bit late. Possibly by Hannah Barnes. He settles in with a strike against her, courtesy of the foul ball. That pitch from Enriquez inside. A ball and a strike now. To Hannah. That ball hit well, but not hard enough to get past the Hereford second baseman moving to her right. Gets that one in the air and ends the threat from the Rangerettes. So by my count, the Rangerettes will drop their district opener 17-2. But I think Coach Pacheco definitely has seen some things he will be able to highlight and work on. Certainly still things he will have to address and get corrected. via some base running errors. Pitching struggling just a bit here today for the Rangerettes, but certainly not the worst pitching performance we have seen from the Rangerettes, who have been very, very pitching starved over the last several seasons. So that'll do it. Hereford's going to come away with the win. They will move to 9-9 and even 500 overall in their season, 1-0 in district. The Rangerettes will go to 3-12 on their season, 0-1 in district. So stay with us for a few more moments, if you will. We'll let you listen to these messages and talk about it here when we come back. You're listening to Perryton's exclusive home for Rangerette softball, KEYE, My FM.
You go the extra mile, working hard for your family and community. We share these beliefs: local service, local support, and technicians who are your neighbors. PTCI takes pride in delivering internet you can count on. Visit ptci.net or your local store. Service not available in all areas. Some restrictions may apply.